Sit right back and take it easy. This show is a 13-episode long advertisement for Japanese candy, and that's not something that they really tried to shy away from. Most segments of this show will probably have you feeling like it's some sort of infomercial as characters talk about specific types of candy, what makes them so great, and even include history on said candy. If you think I'm complaining, well, I'm not. I think it actually works quite well, and they pull it off in a way that makes the show both entertaining and informative. And it even makes me want to try out some of this stuff someday, even if I know it's not going to be anywhere near as good as what they make it seem to be. And let me tell you something, I am so glad that at no point whatsoever did they ever once mention Pocky. That stuff is so horribly overrated, I'll never understand why weebos love that crap so much. So, to get back on topic, the rather thin plotline is centered around a female version of Willy Wonka on cocaine that finds herself in a one-horse town. She's basically there to convince generic anime male character number 31,636 to take over his family's candy store and not ditch it to become a manga artist. This manga thing comes across as a little bit of a joke as it hardly gets mentioned at all after the first few episodes. The same thing can be said for those odd bits early on where they parody and reference movies and other anime here and there, but they stopped doing that after a while as if they forgot about the concept or just decided to drop it altogether. Said references feel a bit abrupt and more than a little out of place in this series because of how infrequent they're used and because most of the characters don't seem to be too invested in pop culture. Aside from the two characters I already mentioned, there's also a girl next door type character who looks like a meth head and is infatuated with generic anime male character number 31,636. Which isn't too surprising since he seems to be the only boy around her age that she isn't related to in this completely vacant looking ghost town that they inhabit. Her brother being the stereotypical best friend character. What is it with the best friend character types in these stories who are always tryhards at being popular anyway? Often with dyed hair, piercings, sunglasses, or something else to try and look hip and cool while going out of their way to impress the ladies, but only coming across as a joke in the process. The only other character that we see even semi-often is 31,636's father, who runs and owns a candy shop and comes across as being a mentally challenged man-child. And that's basically it. There's not really anything to spoil as far as the story goes because there isn't really much of a story anywhere in here. There's a bit of a thing with the meth head liking the candy shop kid, and they hint at the possibility of the female Willy Wonka being into him also and possibly being a rival, but surprise, surprise, they go nowhere with that. Spoiler warning, she's not really into him anyway. She's instead in love with the mascot for one of the candy that they bring up in the anime, which is honestly kind of a refreshing change of pace from how these things usually play out. Like most of the candy that they bring up in the anime, the show is largely sugar-coated fluff with little substance, but while it may not seem all that good for you, it can still make for a nice little treat. And that'll do it for this episode, so until next time,